Morning you guys, it's Karen, and I thought I would come and talk to you about some kitchen favourites because I know that a lot of people are at home kind of baking a bit more and cooking a bit more, and these are just a few of the things that I was going to say couldn't live without. I could live without them obviously, but I find really, really useful in the kitchen. So I've got all the small things here and then the bigger things. I'll just put a picture in. The first thing is a potato masher, but not for potatoes. I can't actually remember the last time I even made mashed potatoes or used this for anything other than what I love it for, which is for boiled eggs. So this is what I use to make egg mayonnaise. I find it to be the perfect thing. So I thought I would let you guys know because I love my egg mayonnaise, but I don't like it if it's too chunky. I don't like it if it's too fine. Like I tried doing it in the mini blender and it just makes it into sort of a smooth paste. I don't like that, but when I mashed it with this, it's really, really quick. Add the mayonnaise, actually got egg mayonnaise, so I thought I would share that little tip. The second thing I love is this. It's a real simple thing, but this is for slicing cheese. For grating cheese, I actually use my big food mixer now, because I used to use a little gadget I had that you sort of turn the handle. It's in a cylinder and you put the cheese in and turn the handle, but it was quite fiddly and the cheese would get stuck inside and it also hurt my joints. But now I use my big food mixer and you just put this grater attachment on, stick the cheese in and it does it all for you. So love that. Don't love the fact that I'm using a great big mixer just to grate cheese, but that's also got a slicer on it. But this I just find so easy, just on a block of cheese, to slice a few bits of cheese, so love that. Still on cooking, I guess, I just wanted to show you this. This is the only food item I'm showing you, but this is the Bertolli olive oil spray. We've been using Fry Light for many, many years because it's just an easy way to not use too much oil. You know, it's very difficult when you're tipping oil out to not use too much, but this is even better. As soon as I bought this and my husband used it, he was like, oh my God, that's so much better than the other one. Because the other one, you're constantly pressing it like this to try and get, you know, you never just use one spray. But with this, you can very quickly just coat a frying pan or whatever, and you've not used too much oil. Much, much easier. I had to mention my beloved Klippits. Now, the funny thing is that it was actually Kev that mentioned this, because I said to him, what could you not live with it in the kitchen, live without in the kitchen? And you know, he couldn't really think, but the one thing he said was Klippits, and I was like, I actually introduced him to Klippits before. When I met him, I would go into his cupboard and there'd be bags of things that he tried to use, the, you know, the sticky tape that often comes with the bags, and it had just twinged open, and then whatever it was had gone off, or I wasn't keen on using it because in case it had got anything in it, you know. But these are brilliant because you just stick them around a packet and you don't need to worry about, you know, trying to keep the sticky on. So I have got tons of these and I use them for everything. And then this is my favourite way of doing a poached egg. I've never actually tried 2 eggs in here. I'm sure it'd be fine, but I have tried every which way of doing poached eggs. I've got one of those little plastic see-through things with 2 little lids on. I've tried doing it the traditional way. I've looked at every instruction. I've tried doing it with vinegar. I've tried swirling the water first and then putting the egg in. I've tried every single way and I just cannot make a poached egg. But in this, it comes out perfectly. And like I said, I've tried lots of different ways. I have these little silicone pots and never ever works. This is brilliant. You put a tiny bit of water in the bottom and then I scoop my egg in. So I'll scoop it and slowly tip it into the bottom. Put this on, put it in the microwave for 45 seconds, take it out, and that's you got a perfect poached egg. So I absolutely adore this because I love poached eggs, but it's always been, you know, I've tried it and it's just been a complete mess, but this gives me the perfect poached egg. To baking things, this is a little ice cream scoop. This is a mini ice cream scoop, and I specifically went looking for this because I very often make they're my oat balls that I've been making for years and years and years, just has to have something with a sweet taste in the fridge, and I'll make them like once a week and they last me at least a week, and they're just oats, peanut butter, coconut oil, and I put sweetener in them. I put not xylitol, what do I put in them? Erithrytol, powdered erythritol, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And it used to be that you rolled them into balls. That's how I used to do it. But then I thought, right, I'm going to get one of these and this will be much easier. And this is much easier. I now actually use the next things I'm going to show you, but I've used this for a couple of recipes where there's things like coconut balls where it says, you know, roll them into balls. You can just scoop this out and then put it right onto the baking paper. So really, really handy if you're a baker. And then the last kind of thing I've got to show you, that I don't have a picture of, is these silicone moulds. See, since buying silicone moulds, I've used these for so many different things. You may remember I showed you a keto recipe with this, where you use melted chocolate, melted dark chocolate, and then you put some sunflower seeds in, and then I put it into this mould tray. This is a sweetie mould tray, and pop them out. And then at the moment I have got some of my peanut butter things in the fridge, and I use these 2 moulds there, which I really bought to make stuff for Watson, but I've used them more for me than I have for Watson. So I just have made my mixture and then just spread it all across there, stick it in the fridge, and then pop them out. I've actually ordered another one which is just hearts as well, so I'm waiting for that one to arrive, but they're fantastic for lots of things. I also used this to make Watson treats out of wet food, so put all the wet food on this, baked it in the oven, and he had bone-shaped wet food treats, the hypoallergenic kind that he can eat, so love that. Okay, things that I don't have in my hands but I absolutely love are my Nutribullet. My Nutribullet is something that I'd heard everybody talking about, and I just didn't think I would ever have a use for it. You know, I was like, will I get one, will I not? And I really thought that it was just going to be another one of those things that I bought, used once, and it went away in a cupboard, but I have never even put it away in a cupboard. It has never been in a cupboard, and I've had it a good couple of years, maybe 3 years, something like that. And I have used it every single day since getting it, apart from when we go on holiday, and I did even consider taking it on holiday. But I have a shake in the morning, and I put lots of different things in it. I put my almond milk in, some peanut butter, some linseeds in there, and some cacao powder, and there's a couple of things that goes in it, and it's just so easy. You plonk it all into the cup, put the top on, twist it, and then that's it in like 10-15 seconds. Take the bottom off and rinse it, and then you've got your cup that you're going to drink out of. You know, there's no pouring it into something else, and there's no washing all different components. It's just so easy to look after and so easy to use. I've used it to make frappes, and when I was doing keto, I was making keto frappes, and it's fantastic. It's really powerful, and yeah, just so easy to use. I would totally recommend it. If you've ever been thinking about one, I would highly recommend it. The other thing that I love is my toasty maker. I can't remember if mine's Breville. I've had quite a few toasty makers, but it's just, I'm not really a sandwich person. I don't love a sandwich, but turn it into a toasty and I absolutely love it. And so I'm quite happy to have things like tuna and red onion toasty, whereas I wouldn't necessarily have it as a sandwich. And I just love how crispy it makes it. So that's one of the things I have. I don't have them very often now because I tend to not be having sandwiches or toasties for lunch. I'm a bit healthier than that, but if I really want a treat, I'll have like a ham and cheese toasty done in the Breville maker, and it's absolutely delicious. Then there is my hand blender, which is, I mostly use the like mini blender attachment to it, so you can either put the whisker on it, or you can put the blender on it, or you can attach it to a small mini, I think it might be called a chopper, but I use that to make the lovely keto coconut mousse that I make even now when I'm not on keto, which is just mascarpone cheese, coconut cream, and a tiny little bit of double cream, and some sweetener, and that is, I make that in a glass, like a wine glass, and that will last me a week. I know that sounds weird, but I have it instead of yogurt, and I'll just have like a little teaspoon or a couple of teaspoons, and it really fills me up if I'm hungry, whereas obviously yogurt wouldn't do that. If I eat a tablespoon of yogurt, I then go back and back and back, and I'm like, oh, just have one more, and I can end up eating half a pot of yogurt. Whereas this, like I said, will last me all week. But anyway, it's just so easy to do in that little mini blender. And the final thing that I've really been enjoying lately is my water filter jug. I struggle to drink plain water. I'm a bit of a nightmare. I've never really liked drinking water, so I have to kind of zhuzh it up in different ways. And I've gotten into the habit over the last few years of drinking, it's by, now who's it by? Something B, but it's strawberry and kiwi flavoured water. But I had a look at the preservative they were using, and it's not a very good one at all. And I was kind of annoyed at myself for not looking at it. But you know, I can't look at every single thing I eat and drink and use on my face, and etc. etc. But anyway, I stopped using it. The Volvic one is a bit better. I had the Volvic strawberry and kiwi one. It's not too bad. It's not very sweet at all. And I thought it's an awful waste of money and plastic bottles, you know, to keep on buying bottles of water. So let me get a water filter jug. I've had one before and not been very good at using it. But this time I have been using it a lot more. I've been giving it to Watson as well. And it just tastes different to me. And I don't know whether it's psychological because the water in Scotland is pretty good. But I've really enjoyed it. And I've been sticking a little bit of cucumber sometimes in the water filter, and that makes it really nice. And yeah, I feel like it's made a difference to my health because it's made me drink more water. Now I do sometimes add in some Ribena, some squash, you know, because if I just get bored of drinking plain water, but I am more likely to drink from the water filter because it's in the fridge, so it's nice and cold and it's filtered, and I just feel better about that. So that's everything for my favourite kitchen items. There's probably a lot more, but these were just kind of the things that came to mind, and like I said, I thought there might be something here that you'd find useful. So let me know what your favourite kitchen gadget is, and if you are doing more cooking and baking with it being the lockdown. I know that a lot of people, like Kev was telling me, that when they have their Zoom calls, a lot of his colleagues are showing like what they've been baking. So obviously people are doing more baking, and that shows because yesterday I tried to buy eggs from Sainsbury's and they didn't have any, and I was there at 10 a.m. I think it was, but no eggs. So yeah, that's everything. I hope that you enjoyed that. I'll link everything in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.